Hey everybody, it's your girl Rushi. We all know that flying IFR can be challenging. I mean, there is so much to think about, from weather to airspace to aircraft performance. It can feel like you are trying to drink from a fire hose sometimes. But one of the most important things to consider is having a solid plan in case you can't land at your destination. That's where alternate airports come in. Now, I'm not talking about just picking any old airport within 100 miles. We need to be smart about it. You need to choose alternate airports that make sense for your specific flight plan and the weather conditions you might encounter. Think of it like this: you are putting on layers of protection and options so that no matter what happens, you can get on the ground safely. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 essential types of alternate airports that every IFR pilot should consider before they even think about launching into the clouds. Let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about nearby alternate airports. This is your safety net, your plan B in case things go south right after takeoff. You run into unexpected weather, your instruments decide to take a break, or heaven forbid you have an engine issue. You want an alternate that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. The FAA recommends having an alternate within 1 hour of your destination airport under IFR conditions. Now that's a good rule of thumb, but I like to be extra cautious, especially if I'm flying in busy airspace or iffy weather. I'd rather have it and not need it, than need it and not have it. You know what I mean? Think about it like this: if you have an engine failure right after takeoff, you don't want to be messing around with diverting to an airport that's an hour away. You want to be able to get on the ground as quickly and safely as possible. But it's not just about proximity. It's also about having an airport that's easy to get into. You don't want to pick an airport that's known for its challenging approaches or tricky winds. The last thing you need when you're already dealing with an emergency is to be fighting your airplane to get on the ground. So when you're choosing a nearby alternate, look for an airport with a good, solid runway, easy approaches, and a reputation for being pilot-friendly. Trust me, in a pinch, you'll be glad you did. Now let's talk about those airports that make you feel like you've just stepped into a 5-star hotel. You know the ones I'm talking about, those airports with all the bells and whistles. Now these might not be your first choice for a nearby alternate, but they're definitely worth considering, especially if you're flying a longer leg or if the weather is looking a little sketchy. These airports are like the luxury SUVs of the aviation world. They've got it all: long runways, precision approaches, full-service FBOs, maintenance facilities, and maybe even a restaurant or two. They're the kind of airports where you can relax and take a load off, knowing that you and your plane are well taken care of. One of the biggest advantages of choosing an airport with excellent facilities is the level of service they provide. These airports live and breathe aviation, and their staff is trained to handle everything from fueling and ground handling to maintenance and emergency services. So, if you have to make an unplanned stop, you can rest assured that you're in good hands. Another advantage is the availability of amenities. Let's face it, delays happen, and sometimes those delays can turn into overnight stays. Well, at an airport with excellent facilities, you can grab a bite to eat, catch up on some work, or even get some rest without having to leave the airport. So, next time you're planning an IFR flight, take a look at the airports along your route and see if there are any with excellent facilities. You might be surprised at what you find. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to IFR flying: weather. It's the one thing we can't control, but we can definitely plan for it. And one of the best ways to plan for weather is to choose an alternate airport that's known for its, well, lack of weather, or at least its predictability. When I say reliable weather, I'm talking about airports that tend to have good visibility, favorable winds, and are less prone to things like fog, thunderstorms, or low ceilings. Now, no airport is completely immune to bad weather, but some airports are definitely better than others. So, how do you find these weather havens? Well, a good place to start is by looking at historical weather data. You can use websites like Weather Underground or SkyVector to get a sense of an airport's typical weather patterns. Pay attention to things like average visibility, ceiling heights, and wind conditions. Another tip is to talk to other pilots who frequently fly in the area. They can give you the inside scoop on which airports are known for their good weather and which ones to avoid. Local knowledge is invaluable, and you can learn a lot from those who have been there and done that. Remember, the goal here is to choose an alternate airport where you have a high probability of encountering VFR conditions. even if the weather at your destination is less than ideal. It's all about stacking the deck in your favor and giving yourself the best chance of a safe and successful flight. So there you have it, 3 must-know alternate airports for IFR pilots. Remember folks, choosing the right alternate airports can make all the difference in your flight's safety and success. It's all about having a solid plan B, and maybe even a plan C, just in case Mother Nature decides to throw you a curveball. Don't just blindly pick an airport on the chart because it's the closest or the most convenient. Take the time to really think about your options and choose alternates that make sense for your specific flight plan and the weather conditions you might encounter. And as always, fly safe, be prepared, and keep those wings level. Until next time, happy landings.